everyone, and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hello and welcome. Just a quick note before I start, I am going to be talking about surgery, like minor surgery, and this is a bit of a trigger warning, so if you do get triggered by conversations of surgery and discomfort and pain and blood and stuff like that, which I will be discussing in this video, then I would suggest maybe not watching this one, maybe skipping it, and maybe watching some of my other videos, because I have lots of makeup content and other kind of hopefully non-triggering videos on my channel. So I thought I would just kind of first put that there, because I know it's it's nice, it takes 2 seconds to kind of just tell people a trigger warning. But yeah, hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hello and welcome. So today I'm going to be talking about my minor surgery that I had about 2 months ago, and it's not going to be like a crazy like in-depth, because it's just going to be about kind of looking out for things that kind of don't feel right or might not be feeling right on your body and getting it checked out, because it is so important. But yeah, I thought I would kind of discuss it. It's been, like I mentioned, like 2 months since I've had it done, and I kind of wanted to check if people were still interested. So I did have like a little poll on my Instagram, and most of my friends just said yes, we still want to have this video. So here we are today. I'm doing a get ready with me because I'm going out to meet my friend today, and I thought I would just kind of like have a chat and put on some makeup as I went along. And I'm not going to show you guys like what I'm going to be using. I'll mention it in the description. Occasionally I might like hold up something, because I have a tendency of doing that. But let's get into the video. So like I mentioned, I had minor surgery in March of this year, which is 2022, I believe, or we're in 2023 now. We're 2023, and I basically had noticed this lump on my back about almost 2 years ago. And prior to this, I've never had like surgery before, like any kind of major surgery. I've never had any like broken bones or anything like that where I've had to like go into the hospital for anything. And maybe like I'd say about 5-6 years before that, I actually had a cyst under my eye, which I had to get removed. At the time my doctor was like, oh yeah, that's only like a kind of build of oil and it will disappear. But I had the same thing with that, where it was like I had it for about 1.5 years, and it was very, very painful, because it was literally like protruding out of my eyelid. And so I went to another one of my doctors, and they said, oh yeah, you need to get this removed, otherwise it's not gonna go. So I did have kind of like very minimal surgery on that, where they literally had to like cut under my lid and not my lid but my at the bottom, and remove it. So that was a very long time ago. I think it was about it was before I got married, so it was about maybe 7 years ago. But when I started noticing the lump on my back, I basically wasn't too sure what it was. I thought it was just like a spot, and then it actually got bigger as kind of the time went on, and I was kind of like umming and ahhing about it, because I was a bit like, I really don't know what this is. I don't know if it's like a spot that's just going to disappear. So I kind of forgot about it. And then I would say 1 year or so later, it had become like really big on my back. I will insert pictures if I find any that are kind of like appropriate, obviously, for what I'm talking about. And then basically I was like, you know what, this feels really weird, because it was kind of like a soft, like a really hard lump in my back, and it was kind of just above my, just onto the side of like my collarbone, which is on my like left side. And I thought, you know what, I kind of want to see what this is, because I don't want it to be anything really bad, and I don't want to just forget about it, because if it needs to be removed, I want to get it removed, because it was starting to cause me a lot of discomfort. So I kind of plucked up the courage and I went to see my doctor, because I was like, you know what, even if it's something very minimal, they can still give me like that reassurance that it is nothing and that I don't have to get it removed. So I did go and see my doctor, and then they kind of suggested that I went to go and get like an ultrasound on my back. So I basically had to kind of wait for an appointment, and I will never bash the NHS on like their kind of timing on things, because, you know, we all have, you know, experienced our kind of findings with with the NHS, and we know how underfunded they are, and we know how sometimes they're unappreciated they are. But with my kind of ultrasound, it did take a while for them to kind of get to me, which I completely understand. And then I did finally get an appointment, and it was very, very quick. So basically, I didn't even had to, like, this sounds so silly, I didn't even have to like take my top off, because they were just like, okay, just show us where it is. Then they kind of did the ultrasound, and they basically looked at it and they said, okay, yeah, it looks benign. And even though my doctor had mentioned that as well, I did say to them I do want it removed, because it was something that I really didn't want. Like, even if I wore kind of like tight clothes, you could see the bump on my back. Like, that's how big it was on me, and it was very, very like just uncomfortable to have, because it's not, I mean, laying down or kind of just aching a lot. I don't know why it was aching, because I mean, it wasn't like it was excruciating pain, it was just very uncomfortable. And then there were days when I was kind of like, I can feel this like proper like digging in me. And so I did say to them I want it removed. So I went back to my doctor, and he said, look, it's, if it's kind of, if it was cosmetic, you'd have to pay for it. And I said, well, this is not cosmetic, this is essentially like disrupting my daily, like going to work and, you know, working and stuff, because, and sleeping as well, because like I mentioned, the discomfort had gotten really bad sometimes. And so they said, okay, what we'll do, we'll send her for referral to get minor surgery to get it removed. And I had to wait, I think I had to wait almost like half a year to kind of get an actual appointment, because I got a letter from like the minor surgery clinic, and they said, okay, we don't have any appointments at the moment, but if you want to give us a call by X date, we will see if we have any appointments, and then you can come in. And I did call them about 4 or 5 times. I did leave a lot of space between each time, because I ended up getting another letter from them saying, if you don't hear from us by this date, please call us, and then we will try and arrange another appointment. So this happened like 3 times. I did call them a couple more times, and there wasn't nothing, which was, you know, completely understandable. There are a lot of people on the waiting list to wanting to get some kind of minor surgery. I don't know what else they would call like minor surgery, but obviously mine was, you know, probably not a typical case, or like it might have been like a usual case. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm sure people getting things removed from like surgically removed is quite a typical thing. But I did end up calling them, I would say around February, and then they eventually did have an appointment in March, and I was like, you know what, I don't care when it is, please can I just have an appointment? And you know, if there's one maybe closer to time, I will hopefully like move things around and be able to like have the surgery done. And then eventually they did say, okay, yeah, we have, I think it was like the 16th of March. And I was like, I will take it. I don't care that I need to like book time off work. I need to like get this done, because I do not want this on my body anymore. So I essentially had to wait for that, which was totally fine, because it was what, 2 or 3 months, and I was like, you know what, I've waited over almost like a year and a half to get this done, and waiting a couple of months more is fine. I mean, I can definitely tolerate it for a few more months. And then it came to the day, and my husband did come with me, very kind of him, even though he couldn't actually come into the room with me, because it's obviously stuff with COVID is still kind of, you know, around hospitals. You do have to be very, very careful, whatever your views are. I feel like COVID is still kind of happening in the world, and still, you know, to be extra careful, and especially in hospitals where people are just sick. The whole point of people going to a hospital is because they're sick. But yeah, we went in there, and he obviously had to wait in the waiting room for me, and I went in there, and they basically used local anesthetic on me. They didn't have to put me to sleep because it was quite minor, so I was awake the whole time. And it was a very weird experience. I mean, like I mentioned, I've never had any kind of like minor surgery in my life, touch wood. I won't ever have to again. But I basically was aware of what was happening, and they were constantly talking to me because they were kind of like, are you okay over there? What would you be doing today if you weren't here? And I was like, these are some interesting conversations that they're coming up with, because I guess they're trying to make me feel comfortable, which I was very appreciative of, because you know, I was just laying there going, what the fuck is happening? I mean, these people are cutting me open and taking stuff out of me, and I don't know what the hell this is. But so basically, I would say the most painful part of getting the surgery done was probably getting the anesthetic like kind of on me, because I mean, the needle was just insane. It was a massive needle, and I was kind of like, right, let's just breathe in, take it slow, let's not like worry about it, don't get too anxious, because having something like this, when I was by myself, obviously my husband was in the waiting room, I mean, my anxiety was going all over the place. I was like, what's gonna happen? Are they gonna like, is like something gonna happen where I'm just gonna like feel horrible and they're gonna fuck something up? But I was like, you know what, I need to have faith in like doctors and stuff, because obviously this was very new to me, the whole experience was very new to me, but everyone was really nice and the doctors were very reassuring. I had to like sign a consent form and everything, and I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, this is all crazy. But yeah, I laid down and they used the anesthetic, and then I think it took about 5 minutes for it to actually like kick in, which is, I was very surprised, because normally I think anesthetic takes a long time to kind of get going, but this was very, very quick. And so basically I was just laying there and I could like feel them like cutting away, and I was like, this feels so weird. I mean, there were moments when I could feel the kind of the blade, because I felt like they were basically going too far for where the anesthetic was. And they did say to me, because it's been in my body for such a long time, they feel like it's kind of embedded itself on me, which sounds like an alien or something like that, is kind of latched onto my body. But basically they end up taking a while to get it kind of out, because like I mentioned, it was there in my body for so long that they kind of just like were really struggling, but they managed to like get it out. And as soon as the doctor kind of got it out, he goes, the baby is out. And I was like, what the hell is he on about? And it was, I kid you not, I was describing it to people like it's the size of a golf ball. Like, if I kind of, no, this is too big, but like, we know like golf balls can be quite massive, but I felt like it was like that big. And I was looking at it going, what the actual hell? Like, that was in my back for like almost 2 years, and you just don't know like how big it's gonna be. Of course, like I could feel my back and, you know, the lump on my back, how much it was kind of protruding, but inside, obviously I had like no idea what it was like, how big it was, how soft it was. And I guess when it came to what I had on my eye, that ended up being like very, very minuscule. Like, that was very small, but it was like poking out of my eye, like it was like a massive lump. So it is strange how like these kind of cells just build up and just want to like rest on my face. And I mean, I was very happy that obviously I was like getting rid of it, but then it was kind of like, this is such a weird feeling, because it was just so new to me, and I was staring at it on the table and I was like, you've caused me so much discomfort over the past like year and a half. I'm really happy that it's gone. And they said that because it was they didn't feel like it was anything kind of threatening, that they just threw it in the bin. The guy literally got some tissue, kind of scrumbled it up, and then just like, yep, we're putting it in the bin. And so they kind of put 5 stitches in my back, and they had this massive kind of like plaster on it, because obviously what they had said to me was that I need to keep it clean for like a couple of days, like I can't get it wet, which is completely understandable, because the last thing I need to do is obviously ruin what they've done. So yeah, they gave me 5 stitches and some plasters, and obviously spare ones to take home. So I basically had to have the stitches in for 2 weeks, just so the skin obviously can heal much better. And then I basically went home that like literally I would say about 15-20 minutes after. So then we got a taxi home, and then I did have to take a couple of days off work because I knew that I couldn't lift anything and I couldn't be standing up for like a very long time because it was very like uncomfortable. Like I had never had stitches before, so I had no idea if I could be I knew that I wasn't going to pick anything up anyway because I was getting so anxious that I would like rip out my stitches and that my back would start like spewing blood everywhere. Like I watch a lot of horror films, so my imagination is quite out there. But I was basically just trying to like reassure myself that I will be okay and that the kind of recovery process is going to be slow, but at the end of it I will be feeling so much better. So then I basically had to have a discussion with my manager that I felt like I couldn't do like 9-10 hours a day standing up. So they had kindly said to me that I should do like a staggered return to work, which was basically doing about 6 hours a day, where I would start a bit later and then I'd be able to leave a bit earlier, so I wasn't overdoing it, which in the beginning I felt so guilty about because I was like, I feel so bad that I need to be doing like less work because I've just had this surgery. But at the end of the day, I need to start realizing that I need to be a bit more kind of selfish when it comes to stuff like this. I try to, help out as many people as I can. I like to feel like I'm a very kind of kind and caring person. So when I kind of need to do something for myself, I start feeling very kind of anxious and get really worried that I'm not doing everything that I should be doing. But knowing that I had just had surgery, I was just like, I need to stop being so hard on myself. So I was obviously doing like a staggered return, so I would be able to get up a bit later and go home much earlier, just so my body can recover and it wasn't too strenuous on my back, because I work in retail. So working in retail and having surgery on my back and standing up for X amount of hours was not very fun in the beginning. But I work with such like nice, kind people, so I was always like reassured, just kind of going, look, if you need anything, we will help you and blah blah blah. So that was very, very reassuring on my mind and my mental health, because I was like, I cannot, like, even though it was only a couple of days, I was getting very anxious and I was overdoing it when I was just trying to relax. And there was a lot of discomfort trying to sleep because I couldn't sleep on my back, I couldn't sleep on my left side, and when I sleep I like to move around because I just cannot lay in one place when I go to sleep. So I was kind of trying my best to be comfortable, but then not disturb my husband because he was working, and I didn't want to wake him by kind of like moving, going oh like an old person. But at the end of the day, 2 weeks later I got my stitches taken out. That was painful. I honestly, like, I I was like, because over the weeks I had been like changing my plaster and I'd been having showers to be very careful, and I'd get my husband to like change my plasters for me, so he was like my nurse, which was very, very helpful because obviously I couldn't have done it myself. So then when I was getting my stitches out, that was like a pain. I was like, what the hell? Because the same day I decided to book myself in for a smear test, because I had actually booked that first. And because my doctor's surgery is so busy all the time, and to get a smear test done by a nurse, she would only come like 1 day a week. And I basically had ended up booking it the same day, and I was like, what madness is this? Because my brain is like, 1 minute I have to prepare for this, the next minute I have to prepare for this. So I had my smear test first, then I like literally turned over, had my stitches taken out, and that was something crazy as well, because when you look at the pictures of my scar, you can still see where the stitches were done. And yeah, I mean, at the moment everything is healing, has healed amazingly. I'm just gonna put on my lipstick and then I will be right back. I was mentioning, sorry, that yeah, everything is completely healed now, and it was definitely an interesting experience, especially the first time that I've had something like this happen, especially on my back where I can't look at it and I can't like control it. But I'm very glad that I did get it removed, because I felt like if it had stayed in my body, it would have just given me so much discomfort, and that is not what I'm about. I'm always about wanting to like be comfortable, be happy, and like just determined to just live such a stress-free life. And that was giving me a lot of stress. But you know what the message that I wanted to bring across today is, if you feel like something is not right, then please go and get it seen. If it's nothing, then that's a bit of reassurance in your brain that, you know, everything is okay. And I hope this story has been interesting to you guys, because you know, it's just something that's happened to me, and I know I'm not the only person that's had something like this and felt like this. But yeah, let me know if you want me to do more story time kind of videos. Not that I've had much else like interesting stuff happen in my life, but you never know, some sort of story can help someone out. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this video. I hope you like this look. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, because I film and upload every time I get a chance to. Don't forget to follow me on any of my social medias, because I'm always active on there. I really appreciate you guys sitting down, spending some time with me, me talking about myself, and I hope to see you very soon. Bye bye.